So in this video, I'll be talking about how to use the transform property to rotate an element. Recall, you do mainly three things with it. You either grow or shrink an element, you move an element around, or you spin it around. And this time we're talking about the rotate. And I personally think this is probably the most intuitive and easiest to understand one. Before we do anything though, let's create the element we're actually rotating around. So let's create a divider, give it a class of A. Type some text inside. This is text, and let's use CSS to draw it. So height of 300, width of 300, background color of red. This time, this one we won't center. Now, how do you use transform to spin an element? Basically, to spin an element around, you write something like this: transform. And then you'd write rotate, and inside of rotate, the value you want to add is something like 100 DEG, 100 degrees. You don't use degrees in too many other places, but here's what you would. And this means I want to spin my element along the center part of it 100 degrees clockwise. Let me show you how this looks so far in the browser. So I've moved it 100 degrees, this element 100 degrees along the center. Now, if I have a positive degree value, this means I am rotating clockwise. By contrast, if I have a negative degree value, this just means I am rotating counterclockwise. For example, now I've spun the element counterclockwise. This should be pretty easy to understand for you already, but let me just show you using an animation what this would look like. So let's create an animation. Let's call it spin. Let's say 2 seconds, and I won't set infinite this time. So keyframes, spin. So let's start with a no rotate at all. Let's say no rotate to begin with. And then ultimately we want to spin this 360 degrees, okay, clockwise, and here's how it looks like in the browser. See, spinning clockwise. And if I were just to change this positive 360 to negative 360 degrees, here is what it would do. See, it just spins in the exact opposite direction. Of the three, I personally think this is probably the most intuitive and easy to understand. But anyways, I believe this brings us to the end of the video. Thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know, and I'll see you next time.